Hey, Mal?
What is it, Mr. Cool?
Could you initiate a call to the Brit? I need help with him for a review.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Hello, Brit.
Hello. Who is this?
It's Mr. Cool.
But I'm still glad I brought my blanket. I'm so glad I'm gonna sing about it.
Brit? You there? What?
You heard me? Fuck off, you Canadian cunt!
Mal, call him back.
I'm not reviewing another movie with you, okay? I was in the psychiatric ward for an entire year because of your stupid Barney review.
Oh, come on. The film I want you to do with me isn't that bad. Besides, fans have been asking me over and over again to do another crossover with you.
Alright, fine. At least tell me what the movie is.
The Misadventures of Merlin Jones.
Who the fuck is Merlin Jones?
You're just gonna have to watch the movie to find out.
Alright, fine, whatever. I'll do the stupid review with you. But mark my words, if this movie drives me insane and I end up killing myself, I'm going to cut off your nuts from beyond the grave.
Shall I initiate review sequence 8?
Yes, please do so.
Roll the title sequence.
So we start our movie off with, well, the opening of Grease.
They call him Merlin Jones, the scrambled egghead Merlin Jones, the campus kook, but my heart's whirling. I'm the girl in love with Merlin Jones.
Now, when was this movie made?
I heard weird noises late one night as I passed the
1964.
1964? But I thought this show was about looking at films from your childhood.
Yeah?
Then why review a film from the 60s? You must be at least 50. What's your secret, Fountain of Youth?
Well, can we just move on?
Fine.
Merlin said,
At last, it works. I wonder what it's for. Hiya, Jen.
Hello, Norman.
Hey, what's the big rush?
I have a class.
Hey, listen, Jen. The Letterman's Ball is next Saturday. It'll be the swingin'est deal of the
Sorry,
year.
Norman, I already have a date next Saturday.
Merlin Jones?
Yes.
What's he got that I haven't got?
Oh, yeah, you can definitely tell this movie was made in the 60s. Not just with the colour palette, but even how they talk.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, no, but it definitely gives the movie a cheesy quality, and we're barely a minute in.
We follow Merlin into a science lab where we discover he is really just fucking around with his gadgets. What exactly is he doing again?
You were supposed to pick me up an hour ago, and here you are reading a newspaper.
But it's part of an experiment, Jen. Now look at this. I've been working on it for months. It's kind of a super-sensitive electroencephalograph, and it picks up the brainwaves put up by any kind of mental activity.
Yeah. That.
That's fascinating. But you were supposed
Let's
to...
dance.
Merlin, be serious.
Even an activity like dancing must have a distinctive brainwave pattern. Let me see. Just a rheostat and a scintillator. That's it. Dancing brainwaves. Look at the difference between the reading and the dancing brainwaves.
Are you going to drive me into town or not?
Kiss me. What? No, I mean to kiss me.
Not here in the science building.
What better place for scientific experiment? Jenny, I want to see what kind of a brainwave reaction I have when you kiss me.
Why, you sly son of a bitch. You're just doing this to get in her pants.
And now I kiss you.
You sure this comes under the heading?
Now strip.
Merlin decides to move his experiments to his vehicle, where apparently it's illegal to wear really fucking weird headgear when you're driving.
Something really is happening to my brain.
Let me see your driver's license. Merlin Jones.
Yes.
And you're a student at the college. You don't have the slightest idea why he stopped you.
No, officer, we don't.
You're a student, too.
Yes, sir.
You college kids got to learn you can't fool around in traffic and get away with it.
Oh, well, we weren't fooling around. This...
No, these grow right out of the top of your head, huh? They're any good at all. You just sign here.
You mean you won't even let him explain?
Sign the ticket.
Quick, Jenny, flash him your tits. Merlin is actually put in front of a judge for wearing weird headgear, and we discover some of the other crimes he has committed.
A month ago, you were arrested for the illegal use of a siren on a motor vehicle. Now, before that, you were stopped for creating a traffic hazard. Green exhaust.
Oh, yes, sir. I was experimenting with some new forms of hydrocarbon.
I do not care to learn how you arrived at green exhaust. It's enough that the green clouds rising from your car attracted and distracted motorists and pedestrians alike, creating a traffic hazard and a public nuisance.
I think you're being very unjust, Your Honor.
In what way?
Well, in the first place, it wasn't really green. It was more of a chartreuse. And secondly, it was much more attractive than the dirty old black stuff. And thirdly...
Really, Jenny? You're gonna use the excuse that a damn toddler would use?
The judge does the sensible thing and bans Merlin's license as we go back to his lab.
Professor, is that you?
Have you seen my briefcase? I think I must have left it here this afternoon.
Briefcase? Wait a minute. The last place I remember it was, Turn the switch off!
Move?
Go on, turn it off!
I can't move.
Why? Why can't you move? It's not like the device is hitting anything other than those huge-ass things on your head.
Thanks to this electrical shock, apparently, now Merlin can read minds. I mean, you can tell that they are thinking when they're making silly faces like these.
I've had some screwy students in my time, but this kid's got them all beat. But I didn't say it. I thought it. I'd rather spend my last evening with Marie Cartier than with Merlin Jones. You heard something I didn't say.
How could I do that?
I don't know. But you did.
I did? How could that have happened? Wait a minute. That shock I got must have charged my brain in some way so that I was able to pick up the electrical energy sent out by your thoughts.
The dean suggests to Merlin that he should keep this miracle of science a secret. Yeah, 'cause that fucking makes sense!
Next we go with Merlin to the library, where he actually tries to research what has happened to him.
Do you have any books on mind reading or thought hearing?
Fiction is on the second floor.
Oh, no, I don't want fiction. I want scientific, factual material on the electrification of a person's brain so that it becomes sensitized to pick up other people's thoughts.
The poor boy's been studying too hard.
And of course the only reason she doesn't call the CADCA is because this is a Disney movie.
We go with Merlin to see him sitting down and having some hilarious results of his mind-reading powers.
Zachary Taylor, the 11th man to be President of the United States, in his inaugural address on March 5th, 1849, said, "I'd give anything for a hot fudge sundae."
Okay.
Man, I dig this swinging quiet. Hey, crazy place for grinding out a real cool poem. Clam in your wet sand pad, too hip for mankind's bread love. When the diggers who don't dig are bugged by the chowder troubles. The chowder troubles. The chowder troubles.
I have no words for this scene. And then we get a scene of Merlin getting annoyed by all the voices in his head.
Trusts.
It'll have to be the black
tries to be committed.
Go right.
Ample guarantee for the faithfulness and honorable performance of the crest of the cherry bomb.
Quiet!
I wonder how he'd look from everybody else's perspective. Oh wait, he'd look like a complete moron.
What does a dish like Jennifer see in a meatball like Merlin? Merlin Jones, the campus creep. Pure 100% creep.
You know, speaking of creeps, who said anything about creeps? Oh, I did just now. You are a creep. Say that again. You are a creep. Why, you? Come on, Jim, let's get out of here. I'll be late for work.
Now, hold on. So, not only are we supposed to believe that this accident somehow gave him psychic powers, but he's got super strength out of it as well?
Of course it does. This is Disney. Anything's possible in Disney. This is the same company that had a frog run a ship in Treasure Island. Merlin is at his job when he hears the judge.
Coffee, sir.
A tiger by the tail. That's what I've got. A tiger by the tail. The trouble is, each crime I commit has to be bigger than the one before.
Well, that's gotta be the biggest fucking coincidence in history. He could have been thinking really anything at this point. I wonder what my wife will be wearing tonight. Yeah, get in that thong, baby.
Merlin goes to the police to explain his findings, and of course it goes as well as you would think.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't think I'm just making this up to try and get even with the judge. I'm telling you the truth.
Get out of here before I book you.
You guys got the wrong idea. Out!
Well, gee, Merlin, how did you think it was gonna go? Yeah, just walk into a police station and tell them you've discovered a criminal with your psychic powers.
Merlin, of course, tries to convince Jennifer that he has psychic powers.
Well, if that's the way you feel about me, Merlin Jones.
Oh, sit down, will you? I'm not supposed to tell anyone, but I have to or I'll explode. You promise to keep my secret?
I promise.
I can hear people's thoughts. Test me.
Merlin.
No, I'm serious. Go ahead, test me. Think of something.
All right. Take my hand.
Think of something else.
Kiss my hand. I believe you now. It's fantastic.
You know, he is your boyfriend, right? So he would obviously be kissing your hand a lot. So how does that prove he has psychic powers exactly?
So, Merlin tries to come up with some kind of plan. Okay then, Merlin. So what would that consist of? Breaking and entering a judge's establishment dressed up as Mario? Well, that ought to get you a couple of years in the slammer for breaking and entering. No biggie. Are you sure you don't want to do anything else illegal while you're at it?
Merlin fixes the leak, even though he is faking being a plumber, and they look around for clues when they discover books similar to the crimes done by the judge.
Wait a minute, I just found something. Look at these.
Payroll robbery by Lex Forrest.
The bank swindle by Lex Forrest, the forger. Jenny, do you know what this means?
Sure, it means he likes Lex Forrest mystery novels. I like them too.
No. The difference is you read them just for amusement. He keeps them in the place of honor in his library. This is where he gets his ideas for his crimes.
It is.
From now on, I'm relentless. I won't leave a private thought in Judge Holmesby's head.
Of course, Merlin discovers more about the judge. Mainly that he wants to hide diamonds in peach pits. Yes, I'm dead serious. Peach pits. Because why not? And so he goes to the police again, and even though he's able to prove that he can read minds this time, they decide to test him again anyway.
So we get a really pointless scene with this guy in the lie detector. And isn't it damn near impossible to fake something on these things, like to actually make it look like you're fucking telling the truth. Maybe in the 60s it was different, but now that shit wouldn't fly.
Merlin is able to get the criminal to confess, and when we go back into the office, we see... Hey, wait a minute!
Go back to the wall chart.
I can't believe it. That sign actually has other crimes as an actual option.
How the fuck is something like that supposed to work? Yo, officer, you got this all wrong, man. The only reason that I cut out my girlfriend's eyeballs and murdered her is because she gave me an STD. Because I refused to marry her. You see what I'm saying? I'm innocent, man.
Well, that is very unfortunate. Officer Bear, you go right ahead and put that down in, other crimes, would you, Officer Bear?
Yes, sir.
He's gonna put that down in other crimes.
Merlin seems to get in some trouble convincing them to go along with his plan.
This business of hearing the judge's thoughts, how are you going to go before a court with something like that?
I demonstrated it to you.
Well, that's right, you did, and it was a good trick, very clever.
Trick? That wasn't a trick, that was a scientific phenomenon.
All right, it was a scientific phenomenon, but we'd still look silly trying to prove it in court.
The captain's right.
Yeah. Look, you did help us out back there in the polygraph room, but let's just settle for that and forget about the judge and his roses, huh? Messing around with the judge's roses is dangerous. He loves them better than his life.
All right? Give the press a field day. Take the whole story to the papers, and I'll expose the judge as criminal and the famous Midvale Police Department as chicken.
Listen, kid, you'd better behave yourself, or the first thing you know, we'll pull you in.
Me? You don't have anything on me.
That plumber bit you told us about, that's illegal entry.
That's worth maybe 5 years.
You see, Merlin, maybe you shouldn't have been trying to get all your evidence by breaking the law.
So Merlin has to find a new way to get evidence against the judge. So what does he do? Break the law more, of course, including another count of breaking and entering and destruction of property. Nice job there, Merlin. That ought to get you another 10 years.
Let's just hope Jenny doesn't find another useless nerd she can fuck in your place.
But it turns out, the judge wasn't a criminal at all. He was just an author. You mean to tell me we went through all of that shit for nothing? You mean he was just an author this whole time? I mean, wow, what a really big fucking coincidence. Yeah, he just happens to be thinking about lines from his book. Yeah, that fucking makes sense, yeah. Totally, yeah. He was a fucking author the entire time because you couldn't really have murder and diamond heists in a fucking Disney movie now, could you?
Hey, calm down, man. It wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was. How fucking weak of a twist was that?
Anyway, we see the judge explain everything to Merlin.
For years now, I have been leading a double life. In the daytime, I'm a judge dedicated to upholding the law. And at night, I've led a life steeped in crime.
I'm Batman.
Merlin goes to court and does he get punished for any of his crimes?
Well, of course not. That would be sensible. He gets his license back all hunky-dory. Oh, and what happens to his mind powers? Gone. Completely forgotten.
Man, this film was tedious. But not as bad as our last one, though. Well, thanks for having me on the show, Mr. Cool, and thanks for picking such a short film this time.
What the hell are you doing?
What? The story's finished, so the film's over, right? The film is over, right?
Well...
Right?
One of them.
One? You mean there's more of these misadventures?
Yeah, we got one more story.
This is no film. This is like 2 episodes of a TV show crammed together. Alright, fine. Let's get through the rest of it then.
We go to our next story where we see the dean giving a speech on hypnotism.
I shall conclude my lecture with a small demonstration of hypnosis. Merlin Jones, would you come up here, please? You will hear nothing but my voice, and only when I speak directly to you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
You will hear nothing but my voice.
test whether or not Merlin is actually hypnotized, the Dean takes out a potato.
Okay. A potato. I'm intrigued.
This is a potato. It is scrubbed clean, ready to be cooked. But we'll use it raw. Do you like apples?
Yes, sir. Very much.
Good. I'm going to give you this apple.
Delicious.
You think it's a delicious apple. Now, why do you think that?
Oh, no, sir. I don't think it's a delicious apple. I mean, the apple is delicious.
I see. But what kind of apple is it?
Have to take another bite.
Oh, he actually thinks it's an apple? I mean, I know he's the only one who can hear the professor and everything, but shouldn't the way it feels and the way it tastes give away the fact that it's a fucking potato?
And then, of course, they try to convince him that water is whiskey. Once again, shouldn't he be able to tell that it's not whiskey, that it's water? I mean, I know he's hypnotized, but his fucking taste buds don't change just as he said so. He should be able to tell just from the taste that it's water.
We follow Merlin to his house to see him experimenting with hypnosis, including trying to turn a pussy into a lion.
You are a member of a noble family. A cousin to the leopard and the tiger. And a cousin to the king of beasts himself, the mighty lion. And there will be no more running away from your enemies like a frightened mouse. But you will turn and you will face your enemies like a tiger. You will roar like a lion.
Oh, who would have thought hypnosis would give him the ability to change the vocal cords of the animals?
Hey, wait a minute! Don't overdo it now! I'll be doggone.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. That was really funny, Merlin.
Merlin goes into another lab where we meet a new character, Stanley the monkey.
Stanley isn't a monkey, he's a chimpanzee.
Whatever.
It's all right, Stanley. If I can't bring you bananas, I'll bring you something else you'll like. Now listen, Stanley, I want you to pay close attention. I want to help you, and I think maybe I can. And by helping you, I'll be helping all humanity. All right, Stanley, now listen. Your people have made great contributions to the world of science, yet you have accepted certain limitations on your abilities, which I intend to remove.
Yeah, Merlin, those are there for a reason because, you know, if you remove them, then something dangerous could happen.
Stanley, get back in the cage. Stanley, get back in that cage.
Yeah, don't fuck with the monkey.
He's not a monkey, he's a chimpanzee.
Whatever.
You see, this is where you lose me. Why get Norman, of all people, to take care of Stanley? He's clearly an asshole.
Merlin, let the bottle go. Let it go, Merlin. Let the bottle go or you're gonna get caught. Oh, and what a shock. He doesn't let go and goes to court with Holmesby again.
Oh my god, really? He's in court again? I swear, he's in court more times than he's actually in college. And of course, Merlin is accused of hitting Norman with the bottle, and he tries to convince the court that the monkey did it.
I object.
Object? To what?
I'm objecting to this chimpanzee being called a monkey.
Oh my god, whatever. Jeez, it's a common mistake.
After Merlin is let off the hook again, the judge asks him to visit his house when we find out what the judge wants.
Then maybe you can help me.
You, sir?
Yes.
Well, hypnotizing humans is a big responsibility, sir.
All I want is some information about hypnotism. I think it might be helpful to me in my new book.
Oh, well, I'll give you what information I can, but there are men in the psychology department who know a lot more about the subject than I do.
No, you're one of the few at Midvale that know that I write these crime novels. Now, I want the entire thing to be absolutely realistic.
But I'm afraid it's no good, sir.
What do you mean it's no good? What makes you a literary critic?
Well, sir, I'm not.
Then what right have you to throw out the plot of my new novel?
I only meant that it wasn't completely realistic, sir.
Why not?
Because most authorities agree an honest man can't be hypnotized into committing a crime.
But if he's under orders of the hypnotist,
A person under hypnosis will not do anything to violate his own moral code, sir.
You hypnotize me and try to get me to commit a crime.
Okay, why the hell would a judge of all people think that this is a good idea? You know how badly that could work for you?
You simply must believe me, officer. I was hypnotized into killing those 5 people by a strange teenager. Well, I have to say that is a very unconventional crime, sir. Well, we're going to go and put that down in other crimes. Officer Bear, put that down in other crimes, will you, Officer Bear?
Yes, sir.
He's going to go write that down in other crimes.
Merlin convinces him to steal Stanley and to not return him after he takes him. Now, I'll just leave him in the house for you to bring back to the lab, and then of course Norman accuse you of stealing the chimp. You know, for a scientist, you're a pretty big idiot. I mean, a little white crime is like littering or jaywalking, not fucking theft.
Duck.
Subtlety? What's that? We see the judge go to the school, steal Stanley, and punch Merlin in the face. Is there something in this lab that brings out violence in people?
We see Merlin, of course, break into the judge's house for a 3rd time now.
Why do you close your eyes when we make love?
When Merlin takes Stanley back to his cage, and of course, like an idiot, he gets caught.
I knew it. He couldn't leave that monkey alone. Chimp. As soon as the watchman told me Stanley had been stolen, I knew who did it.
I was just putting him back.
Great job, Merlin. You practically confessed to the bloody crime. What are we on now? 20 years in jail?
Merlin thinks he can get the judge to remember by hypnotizing him again. And he does it by doing this.
One of the animals was missing, and when I saw which one it was, I knew immediately who the thief was. I called the police, and they arrived in a few minutes. And while we were there in the lab, the thief turned up and was caught red-handed.
Yeah, that totally doesn't make you look insane, does it, Merlin?
Well, not to worry. Merlin is able to convince the judge that Norman is a dick. Of course, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out, and that somehow gets him off scot-free. Well, looks like all that's left to do for Merlin is for him and the monkey to live happily ever after.
He's a chimpanzee.
Oh my god! Fuck it, whatever! What's even the fucking difference?
Monkeys are long-tailed primates and members of the family Cibidae, Callitrichidae, and Cercopithecidae. Chimpanzees are the highest of the anthropoid or man-like apes, and furthermore, chimpanzees have no tails.
Oh my Jesus Christ! What kind of fucking world do we live in where fucking monkeys and chimpanzees, whatever, is the main topic of discussion for a fucking guy who can read minds and fucking do hypnosis? I mean, what is the world coming to? Am I the only person who isn't anal in this fucking fucked up world? I mean, Jesus! It's a fucking monkey and chimpanzee and fucking, what? Tell me where I'm going wrong with my life, where I've got to be fucking corrected by some geek from the 60s about fucking monkeys and chimpanzees and all that other fucking stuff that doesn't matter in this world. I mean, wow.
And so our movie ends with a surprisingly good message, the chimp smoking a cigar, and they all laugh about it.
Well, they'll have to wait. I'm very busy now. Where were we, Stanley?
We call him Merlin Jones, the scrambled egghead Merlin Jones, the campus kook, but her heart's whirling. She's a girl in love with Merlin Jones.
Misadventures of Merlin Jones was a true misadventure indeed. Though elements of the film seem to appeal towards kids, other elements seem to appeal towards adults, and I guess that makes it a well enough balanced film. It doesn't showcase much in terms of writing, but it's an innocent enough little film that showcases the wacky nature that is life. You know, with psychic powers and monkeys.
He's a chimpanzee.
Oh, you just had to take the piss, didn't you? You just had to take the piss.
lost connection to the Brit.
I'll say that Merlin Jones is a very... how do I describe it? It's a harmless movie. I didn't hate it. I don't love it in any way. It is more so nostalgic for me because I watched it when I was very young. But there's nothing inherently wrong about it. Like, there's nothing in it that's a bad message for kids, except for maybe breaking into houses to get what you want. But that can be avoided. Would I say show this to your kids? Yeah. I'd say if you show this to your kids, they'd grow up fine. I mean, I watched it, and look at me. Then again, you could argue that I'm insane since I sat through all those other movies. Hey Mal, can you start preparations on review sequence 9, please? I have to make a quick phone call. 'Cause he isn't gonna know what hit him.
They call him Merlin Jones, the scrambled egghead Merlin Jones, the campus kook, but my heart's whirling. I'm the girl in love with Merlin Jones. I heard weird noises late one night as I passed the science wing. I looked inside, and there he was, working on the darndest thing. The thing got up and buzzed and beeped and walked right out the door. And Merlin said,
At last, it works. I wonder what it's for.
We call him Merlin Jones, the scrambled egghead Merlin Jones, the campus kook, but her heart's whirling. She's the girl in love with Merlin Jones.
although I know his way out brain is on cloud 9, his kisses make me wanna be his missus.